Hello and welcome to Dvorak Horowitz Unplugged, an hour-long discussion of activity in the financial markets around the world, featuring columnist John C. Dvorak and money manager Andrew Horowitz. This conversation is casual and unrehearsed. Let's join John and Andrew now.
I'm John C. Dvorak.
And I'm Andrew Horowitz.
And it's the 2nd of June, halfway through the year, 2026.
Your bass is back.
My bass is back.
Yeah, baby has bass. So you got it going. I don't know what happened there, but maybe because I pushed the volume up on my side a little bit and it cleaned it up a little bit. But definitely.
Yeah, maybe.
What is this mic? Is it back to the Heil?
Yeah.
The PR40.
Right.
I like that mic. I have that one sitting right. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at it right there. I did like that mic, but for whatever reason, I got the Electra voice and I like that one. It looks cooler. I got the black one.
Yeah, that's the 320.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Well, the May is over, John, and investors are giddy. Another good month in the books. You know what they say, buy in May, stay to play, I guess.
No, buy in May, go away.
No, sell in May, go away. Sell in May, go away.
Oh, sell in May, go, which I should have done.
Yeah, now you're a little bit too loud, by the way.
Oh, okay. I can go back to normal, which is right there.
Sell in May,
That's
go.
That's normal.
Sell in May, go away. It's buy in May and happy to play. That's
yeah,
what it looks
okay,
like right
well.
now. I don't know. Well, then we got oil critically low. We got inventory levels and some inside baseball on that. I had a discussion with someone who will remain nameless, a well-heeled, well-schooled, well-researched kind of dude. And he is he's a player out there in a big-name firm, let's put it that way, and he knows stuff. Boy, would he give me an earful on the oil situation. Pretty fascinating. We'll talk about that. Fed governors admit inflation is hard to control. Huh. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
And a major name out there is saying they're reducing stocks. But are they really? That's the question. You know, they put out these things like, we're reducing down from an overweight position. We'll get to the bottom of that. That's what we do. We like to do that on the show, right? We like to bust up some of the commentary so that the average Joe and Jane can understand what's really going on.
Exactly.
That's part of what we do. That's what we do. And we're announcing the winner of the Close to the Pin Cup for Salesforce, who, by the way, I think he was a winner in, I think it was 2016 of the Close to the Pin, the Cup, the actual annual game that we play.
Oh, yeah. Oh, one of our pros.
Yep, he's done very well. So congratulations to him. All right, markets. Huge reversal in software stocks. The SaaS, Afras, Arithmetic, Armageddon, whatever it was called, that was killing the Salesforces, the Workdays, the names that you saw as possibly being obliterated by AI, snapped back last month, and wow, big returns. Big returns. I guess everybody's like, well, we really don't know if anything's going to happen bad, but let's buy them anyway. So kind of part and parcel of this market. As a matter of fact, I have a guest coming on next week on the Disciplined Investor podcast, and he talked about the ratchet market. Ratchet. Not wretched, not ratchet as in the kids talk about, but ratchet as in wrench. Where you can click
as in what?
The ratchet, like
wrench.
A wrench.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the kids use the word ratchet.
Yeah, no, I thought you said wretch.
Yeah, no, wretched. So the kids use the word ratchet as a word to mean disgusting, foul, and just gross, right? Have you heard this?
Yeah. No, I never heard this.
Oh, yeah. That restaurant is so ratchet. That's what they say, ratchet.
Well, maybe, okay.
You know what I think? You know what I think they're saying? Some moron screwed up and saw the word wretched, didn't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, that absolutely possible.
Didn't know how to pronounce it with the W in front of it, right? How do you pronounce a word? Isn't wretched spelled W-R-E-T-C-H?
Yeah, R-E-W-R-E-T-C-H-E-D.
So, like, what is
wretched.
that word? I don't understand it. Wretched. I don't ratchet. It's ratchet. Okay, I guess you can pronounce ratchet. So everybody goes around calling things ratchet now, not wretched. Morons. You don't know what they're doing. Anyway, so it's a ratchet market where it kind of clicks one way and doesn't have the opportunity to go the other way. It goes up, Even on bad news, it doesn't come down very much, but the next item of good news, it ratchets back up even further. Anyway, that's what's going on in this. We have a few names on the move, big moves on a big name of a computer company. SpaceX IPO could drain markets. Something about that we'll talk about, and more AI valuations through the roof. And I'm coming to you here, John, from Fort Lauderdale in the studios inside the Horowitz & Company offices. Nice studio. Coming to you, it may sound a little weird because I have what is probably known by many as pizza mouth right now.
Pizza mouth?
Yeah.
Would you burn yourself in a hot pizza?
I burned myself. I was over at the club and Vito says to me, hey, I got something for you. So what do you got, Vito? He says, I got you a Sicilian-style pizza that I made from sourdough bread, from sourdough, and I put some really cool sauce on it. I put a little bit of fresh grated Parmesan Reggiano on there. I'm like, that's great. I'll come back in a couple minutes, grab it. Puts it on a plate for me. I grab it. I put it in my mouth. He goes, hey, by the way, it's hot. I'm like, too late. Too late. It's the first time I've had pizza mouth in like years.
Ouch.
Yep. Anyway, so let's talk about the reversal. Software stocks bounced this week on strong results from Snowflake and Okta. Both recorded their best days on record. Best days on record. You can't make this kind of stuff up. The results signal that investors have been too quick to declare the end of the software and the emergence of artificial intelligence, even as AI displaces certain tools and job functions. Well, many software companies continue to show growth. The iShares Expanded Tech Software Exchange Traded Fund rose 8% for the week and closed May up 21%. The best month of performance since October 2001. Now, that ETF is still down 3.8% for the year. And that's trailing the NASDAQ, which is up like 18% in 2026.
Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons Snowflake also did well is they come concurrently with this. Amazon made an announcement that its cloud division landed a $6 billion spending commitment from Snowflake, which includes the use of the company's custom silicon and chips for artificial intelligence. So I think what investors took that was you have decent earnings and you're willing to spend $6 billion, things can't be so bad.
Exactly.
Right? Now, this is going to happen over 5 years. Snowflake intends to expand its use of Amazon's Graviton general-purpose chips. General-purpose chips. Sounds like a general-purpose cleaner, like a Windex. You know what I mean? Use this average stuff over here. If you need the good stuff, we'll go to the back room. They're also going to get their cloud-based graphics processing units for AI. Stock was up 36% on the news. What I thought was most interesting about this was if you look at the overlap of some of the things that Amazon does, not Amazon delivery and Amazon store, Amazon books. If you look at the other stuff, AWS side, and you look at what they do, there's a lot of overlap between them and Silicon. They're kind of like frenemies. But up 30%, 36% on the news.
Unbelievable.
I could say, okay.
This is out of control as far as I'm concerned.
There's more. Just wait. You're going to get really frustrated. When I go through the rest of this.
I see the list.
One of the interesting things about this is that I can go along with the fact that people throw the baby out with the bathwater on some of these software names, and the Snowflake, like we're talking about right here, maybe had a big short interest that was built up into it, and this kind of thing came as a bit of a surprise, and it vaulted the whole thing up. And I got that, but the next one is really amazing, and we're talking about Dell computers. There was nothing bad about what was going on with Dell. They just announced a new XPX 13, $699 for a new price-sensitive market computer. They're going to compete with the MacBook Neo, but with lower-end Windows services. So this is going to, I think, win you over, though. A 13.4-inch display screen with an optional OLED touchscreen. That's good, because you've been talking about that forever. The Apple, what the hell? Apple,
Yeah, well, Dell's had touchscreen laptops before.
right, but they're continuing on as a competitor to Apple, utilizing now touchscreen. They're going to have very thin bezels, edge-to-edge screens, 2.2 pounds, pretty light.
That's as light as it gets, yeah.
But Dell also came out with earnings. And when I say Dell came out with earnings, they came out with earnings.
Yeah, I should have seen this coming. It's very annoying that I missed this one.
I personally own Dell. We've had Dell for clients for a while. I sold.
Oh, you must have been very happy.
I'm up 530% in the last year. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Dell Technologies shares surged due to an outlook for annual sales that far surpassed expectations and demand for servers that power artificial intelligence. We also talked about this, John. You and I did talk about one thing about Dell. We said Dell is no longer honoring quotes longer than 5 days out. And you and I talked about that and what that meant and how it's wait a minute, that's how fast prices are escalating and that's how much demand there is. So I don't think this should come as a total surprise. Not to mention that President Trump gave it the old, hey, everybody, buy Dell computers. That was 2 weeks ago. But this doesn't encompass any of that. Let's just say that for a fact. Dell's earnings were in place already. He didn't say buy Dell the stock. He said buy Dell computers. Now, revenue in the fiscal year ending January 2027 will be about $167 billion, including about $60 billion from the sale of AI servers, topping estimates from analysts that put it at $142. We're talking about $25 billion more. $25 billion.
Yeah, nothing to sneeze at.
$25 billion.
What's wrong with these analysts?
Oof. The company booked $24.4 billion in AI orders and generated $16 billion in AI server sales in the quarter ending May 1st. With its chief operating officer saying the AI opportunity shows no sign of slowing. No sign of slowing. The shares were up 33% to $420 at the close of Friday in New York, the biggest single-day increase in more than 7 years since the hardware maker returned to the public markets after, I think it was about a 5-year hiatus. And then, let's see where it closed today. Dell closed up to $435. It's up another 5% from there.
Yeah.
It's down a little bit today, but still pretty amazing. Up 150% year to date. Now with that, we've talked about this. I have talked about this. Everybody's probably sick of me talking about this, but we had a similar situation back in the early 2000s when everybody was all excited about all the sales of Dells. Now, Dell had a competing company back there. John knows this. I'll let you all sweat this out a second. Dell had a competing company back then that had a very catchy kind of look, and they're currently out of business, by the way. And do you remember which one that was without another hint?
Could be a number of companies that are now out of business.
But it wasn't that big, one of the big ones, like one of the Japanese ones. It was it
wasn't the big one like Gateway.
I'm talking about Gateway. Gateway, they look like cows or something, right?
No, we're outstanding in our field.
Outstanding in our field like a cow.
Yeah, one of their ads was the CEO and all the rest of them were standing in some cornfield, and they said, we're outstanding in our field.
That's pretty
I'm
funny.
surprised you don't remember that ad.
I don't remember, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And they had black and white boxes that looked like...
Yeah, they had cow spots on the boxes.
Yeah. So Dell was back in the day doing the same kind of thing as they're doing here. Really unbelievable. The poster child for, oh my God, what a great company, and look at that. But when we calculated the amount of sales that they would have to do with, let's say, PCs at the time, we counted that if they continued the growth rate as they had, in about 2 years, everybody would have about 4 to 5 PCs on their desktop. That's how they'd have to get to those sales numbers. And that was highly improbable, right?
Yeah.
So what we see now is, I don't know if it's the same kind of situation. The extrapolation of numbers that we see now into the future, it almost infinitum that some of the companies are getting that much of a lift from. But something's kind of a little crazy here with all that's going on. Now, you like it if you own it, so nobody's complaining about that. And I'm not complaining either. I'm just, my kind of antennas go up and my ears start wiggling and the hair on the back of my neck stands up a little bit when I see some of the stuff that's going on, like it's going on now. I've been around long enough to know that this kind of stuff is out of hand. I looked at the Spearman indicator today, just this evening. It's at 100. By the way, it doesn't go above 100, so I don't know if it's really supposed to be above 100 or something. 100's the top end. It doesn't stay there very long. Things get...
No.
So we'll see. There's some infighting going on, which is interesting. That's kind of starting to change the dynamic a bit with the chip companies, NVIDIA and OpenAI. OpenAI released a multi-chip AI software challenging NVIDIA's ecosystem advantage. You know, the big thing with NVIDIA, of course, is they have the chip, but they also have their software solutions, we'll call it, or the ecosystem to build stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing why...
Yeah, they're also making these little bitty machines do it for some purpose.
NVIDIA is now releasing a CPU for PCs, aggravating Intel and AMD.
Yeah, everybody's aggravated.
Everybody's aggravated. Everybody's getting into each other's bed right now. Eventually, there's going to be somebody's going to pull a gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's getting crazy. It's fascinating to me that these companies just can't be satisfied staying on their side of the street. It's kind of like, I see in a lot of businesses, there's a lot of crossover. Like, you got attorneys that are working with people that are selling real estate. They're like, hey, do me a favor. I'll get you this client. You give me a piece. Like, dude, just do your job. I'll do my job. And, everybody's happy. But everybody's got to be in each other's either pockets or competing somehow with them. In the end, these kinds of things where they're going to start challenging their other companies is going to start, I think, being a problem. You can't do that forever without really causing detriment and diluting the benefits of the other party's work.
Well, the other thing about it, which is kind of something to consider, is the idea, it's just like the small shop owner who is making a good living selling something. But a buddy down the street is selling moose heads. And so he says, well, maybe I can sell moose heads. Yeah. And there's another guy selling junk jewelry. He says, well, maybe I can sell junk jewelry. I know who the distributor is. I can get the same junk jewelry, and I'll sell that too. What about there's a guy selling tomatoes from the garden. I'm going to start selling eggs from our chickens. And the next thing you know, the focus of the store is lost. Now he sells just a junk store, selling everything he can get his hands on. And this is what is going on. And
then you used to have one guy saying, hey, you know what? If you need this item, go over to my buddy 3 doors down. That doesn't happen because everybody's now pissed off at each other.
Yeah, right. There's that.
Oh, and you don't get the nice referral advantage.
Yeah, you don't have the ecosystem.
Right. Everybody's now in competition with everybody. But everybody's out for themselves. We had a bit of a kaboom last week. Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket exploded. Did you see that? In a massive fireball.
Yeah, it took everything with it.
That's the problem. This wasn't just like, okay, it's going up. Nope. It's kind of like, all right, let's test engine 1. Done. But what it did is it took out the launch pad. They're talking about the potential for upwards of a year. This isn't just like a flat mat of concrete. This is a very highly technical area that does whatever it does. But this is a problem. Because even if they rebuild, and of course, this is a big, big blow to New Glenn's reputation, but if they were coming out with a LEO satellite network, is from Amazon, the Blue Origins, and they were trying to work with NASA's Artemis program, which is aiming to send humans back to the moon. I don't know about you, but there may be a little bit of hesitancy of strapping yourself to that thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I kind of predicted this on the No Agenda show.
The No Agenda show. The no, you say no agenda, you say.
Yeah, it's a good show. You should listen to it.
This is with...
You've been mentioned on the show a couple of times.
I understand that. I should be. I haven't listened to the last couple of weeks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we noticed.
How do you notice?
Especially, well, because we said something the last show about you specifically that would have gotten you calling.
Which show? Well, first of all, the shows are Thursdays and Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. So we're talking about Sunday's show. I'll get that. I won't go to sleep tonight.
I can't remember if it was Sundays or Thursday show.
So see how he does that? That means I got to listen to both now. That's fine. I'm game. I'm game. I'm listening. I'm in there. So you can find that and the Disciplined Investor show too. So No Agenda is my other show, and John's other show, he moonlights on No Agenda. So you can listen to it everywhere you can find podcasts, as well as on the web. You can go to noagendastream.com, I believe.
NoAgendaShow.net.
Noagendashow.net.
Yeah, that's for the show, but you can go to noagendastream.com and listen to our stream. We have a lot of podcasts that play on the stream automatically.
Which is where we are actually right now.
Good. We should be.
That's where we are. All right, taking it down. So BlackRock, this is what I find one of these amusing stories. BlackRock is trimming its bet on stocks across its model portfolio's business as U.S. equities surge to record highs following a strong earnings season. Okay, that's what they say. All right, that's what they say. So what the firm is actually doing is they're cutting its overweight position in equities from 3% to 1%. In other words, that's not a huge differential. If they had a equity position that is a neutral position of 50%, they had it at 53%, they're taking it down to 51%. Now, supposedly, this triggers billions of dollars of flows between BlackRock's exchange-traded funds, and they also came out because they have to do so. They have to come out and say, while we are reducing our exposure, please note it's still an overweight position. We're confident in equities. We'll maintain positions that bet on growing corporate profits and artificial intelligence, blah, 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 blah. So in other words, they make this, and they'll say something like it's also just a rebalancing move for the point of just, cleaning up positioning and whatever. I don't even know how this is news. The point of this is it makes it, don't you feel when you first read it, that's, oh my God, BlackRock is taking down equities. That's what I don't know if that's what is it maybe the headline that's trying to do clickbaiting of you or something that's doing that? Or is it, I don't think it's BlackRock, or then maybe it's BlackRock trying to whitewash the whole thing. I don't know. I can't tell which way it is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
All right.
They're always up to something.
Always. So SpaceX is targeting a valuation of at least $1.8 trillion in its initial public offering. Now, that was down from about $2 trillion, which was their outside. So they're dropping it by a whopping $200 billion, which, by the way, is pretty big, but really? Okay. The company is seeking to raise it. Check this out. This is what's fascinating about this. You're going to like this. This is fascinating. The company is expected to pull in $75 billion from this offering. So that's going to be the biggest IPO of all time. $75 billion, not the $1.8 trillion. The $1.8 trillion is the total value of the company. They're only releasing about $75 billion worth of stock. So what day is it?
That's still a lot.
It's huge. Thursday, they're supposedly going to be formally marketing its IPO. Now, SpaceX had $18.7 billion of revenue in 2025. Nothing to sneeze at. And the company's pitch to investors shows an evolution in AI services and infrastructure giant with a total addressable market, a TAM, of, hold your feet, $28.5 trillion. Now,
I guess you can say anything you want.
Well, they have not included the potential if there's life on Mars.
Oh, there you go.
Now, if there is life on Mars, That is total addressable. Now, I'm not including Saturn and Jupiter and anywhere else. I'm not including maybe a black hole that we can get to. I'm not including any of that stuff. There could be a TAM that reaches what's above trillion. Do we know what's above trillion? I don't even know. Quadrillion? I think it's quadrillion, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, quadrillion. That would be it.
Let's see. What's above a trillion? A quadrillion. Above that is quintillion. And then above that is sextillion.
Yeah.
And finally, a septillion. God, I hope we don't get to there. It's just so complicated. They don't, there's one thing, million, billion, trillion, but then you go to quadrillion, quintillion. Ugh, that's too complicated. I really hope we never get there. I don't want to be, I'm just saying for the record, I don't need to be a quadrillionaire, or a quintillion heir, something.
Yeah, and you won't be, I guarantee it.
Thank you. Things are going well, though, but maybe, no, I guess not. So they're only going to float about 3 to 5% of the shares. Very tight. Now, the strategy they have here, keep the supply constrained. That's going to support price discovery, maintain founder control. 85% is going to be controlled by Elon, I believe, and creates early scarcity dynamics. What's also interesting about this is SpaceX now has reserved the right of 5% of its shares in the IPO for certain employees and individuals selected by the executive officers, exempting them from the post-IPO lockout restrictions.
So they can dump it right away? Is that what the idea is?
And by the way, that's the key. That is the word, dump. Now, how do they get around that without messing with the markets, right?
You tell me.
What they do is they do something else. They create a deal with the NASDAQ to allow for the shares to be traded within days, not months, and not this whole period you have to go through post-lockup. They allow for the shares and mandate that these shares will have a special right to be on the NASDAQ 100. And that NASDAQ 100 means that there is so much money in there, and this is going to be a huge position in there, that it's going to have to be bought hand over fist as soon as this thing comes out.
The indexers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's how you create a floor.
Something very tricky about it.
This
Very
whole
good.
thing.
The whole thing's tricky.
The whole thing. That doesn't mean it's not going to be a great win for people.
Yeah, it could be. It could be a big win. It could also trigger the entire collapse of the entire stock market.
This could be, do you think this is one of those things? It's like, I've used this. I don't know why I've used this. This is that Jenga wood that you pull out, and it's that last one. It's like one too many.
The
one
stick.
One too many.
Block that comes out. Whoops.
Yep, the whole thing falls.
I mean, we don't know what's going to do that. It could be the collapse of the crypto. It could be the AI, dead end. It could be the circular financing. It could be SpaceX. It could be anything. It could be, but something.
I mean,
will trigger
Bitcoin collapsed today. It's at 66,000.
Yeah, but that's not what I would call a collapse. It's been down there before.
That's true. It's pretty much at its bottom year to date from the bottoms that it's seen before. It has been a little bit lower. Right now, it's down 28.92% year to date. It's down 38% in the past year. It's up a whopping 79% in the past 5 years. Now,
right.
Just to be clear, 5 years for Bitcoin was like, hey, good stuff, right? Dell was up 33% the other day.
Yeah. Dell is a better idea.
Dell's a much better idea. Dell is up more this year than Bitcoin is up in the last 5 years. So all of you that out there were looking at this as a store of value and opportunity for investment or all the other things, come on. Seriously? How long is this whole winter thesis and this I don't know, this conversation going to go on for? This whole thing is a crypto winter, and we've had them before, and we're going to go. It's just to keep you invested, man. This is just massive marketing by Michael Saylor, who is the king of trying to keep you in. By the way,
he's doing a good job.
Doing a good job. I own a little Bitcoin. But
you do?
Yeah, I got more Ethereum, a lot more Ethereum. Both suck. I promised myself.
I'm buy into Doge.
Yeah. I promised myself back in 2020 I was going to buy a chunk, or 2021. I was buying a chunk of Ethereum and I was never letting it go because I want to be a quadrillionaire.
Yeah, okay. What could happen?
That could happen. Even more valuations. AI giant Anthropic is now worth more than OpenAI. Wow. That's pretty impressive. I didn't know that was going to happen, but Anthropic announced a $65 billion Series H financing. By the way, what is Series H? Series H is...
Yeah, what is Series H?
It's not A, B, C, D, E, or F, or G. I'll tell you that right now. It's not Series 1, 2, or 3. Series H is, it's like it's, there's the 8th round.
That's pretty far adrift.
Yep. Altimeter Capital, Dragoneer, Green Oaks, and Sequoia picked it up. So this valuation is, again, more than OpenAI. And here's something for the record books and the little bit of a cocktail party discussion. Oh, hey, Bob, how you doing? Oh, yeah, have you seen the valuations of the AIs? Oh, what do you got? Anthropic. Oh, yeah, what? Tripled since February. That's my Thurston Howell III.
It's okay.
Tripled since February. I say it tripled since February. So let's go. Shares of LG Electronics surged about 24% after the company announced a series of automotive innovations built with technology from Alphabet's Google. The company said its new range of solutions is built on Android automotive operating systems. Its system can control multiple devices with different aspect ratios at the same time by using a single on chip, which is different from other conventional in-vehicle display systems. But 24%. 24%. Now, this is another company in where, do you say? South Korea.
Korea, your
South
buddies.
Korea. Yeah. I love it. I love Korea. Matter of fact, wait till you see the numbers on the game. But two companies dominate the Korean market. We talked about this, SK Hynix and Samsung. Then you got this stuff going on. This LG Electronics is no slouch.
No, I use an LG TV OLED television set. It's the best thing I've ever owned.
And this is more reason
Super
why the
thin. It doesn't weigh anything.
You got
pretty.
That's the 4K?
Yeah, 4K, HDR.
You like sports. Sports, I bet you basketball's pretty good on that.
Yeah. The HDR is more impressive than the 4K.
Really? Who displays that? Who pushes that?
Everybody.
Everybody pushes that?
Yeah, Netflix has it. Some of the network stuff that you can get over cable has it. I think Fox uses it. When they do 4K, they do HDR.
Are you still using your HDR antenna?
I don't have an HDR antenna.
Didn't you have an HD antenna for a while?
I have, yeah, of course I have an HD antenna. I have like 2 or 3 of them.
And you still
I
use
have one
that?
on the roof.
Oh. You told me to buy this little pad one time.
Oh, the things are unbelievable.
Unbelievable. You get free local stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, because the amount of money that I pay for my cable is absurd at my house.
Yeah, if you're in a metropolitan area of any sort, you get one of these little pad antennas. They're just a piece of plastic. It looks like a square piece of plastic, about 12 inches. They will get you 100 channels.
It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, let's talk a little bit about from the. Let me dig deep and let me find this. This is in a bag. This is in a bag that is quite often utilized these days. Let me get to the bottom of this thing here. All right, from the no one cares bag. Inflation has been above 2% target for 5 years now. 5 years. So begs the question, does the Fed really have any control of any of this stuff?
Well, they imagine they do.
They imagine they do. They imagine they do because they imagine they create a job for themselves. If they couldn't imagine it, then they wouldn't have any jobs. They have to drink the Kool-Aid, eat the pudding, and believe all this stuff. Minneapolis Federal Reserve President Neil Kashkari Spells his name Neel, which bothers me. Don't ask me why, but it does. Okay, just saying. Said Thursday that bringing down inflation in the U.S. remains his top priority, warning that consumer prices are still much too high. He was speaking to CNBC's reporter on the Bank of Japan IMES conference. He said that U.S. Central Bank would continue taking a balanced approach to its dual mandate of price stability and full employment. 5 years they're talking the same crap. Our dual mandate of price. If I did something in a business and my only job, one of my two jobs was number one, price stability, which is talking about inflation, and full employment, and I missed my target for 5 years in a row, what do you think is going to happen?
You'd be out of there.
Out of there. I would not. They wouldn't wait the 5 years.
No, probably 2 quarters.
Maybe. Yeah, the first quarter you can go, there was
You should be able to bluff your way through the first quarter.
Yeah.
Any good CEO can bluff his way out of one bad quarter.
Yeah.
No question about it.
So
2 quarters, it takes more skill.
Yeah. So what that tells us, I think, is that the Fed is unable to do anything about inflation, and we're the only ones that see that. I don't know. It seems to me that there is a Shallow Hal thing going on or something with the Fed. You've seen Shallow Hal?
Yeah, now that that's funny.
Jack Black is can't find a girl is the whole problem. He sees all sorts of problems with every single girl he goes. He gets into an elevator, I believe it is with Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins puts some kind of a trance on him, and now every woman that he sees, it's about the inside, and the beauty comes out no matter what their outside looks at.
Yeah, so he falls in love with a big fat chick.
Big fat girl. Falls in love. One of my favorite movies, by the way. It's just so funny. This, by the way, is before Jack Black got kind of weird. He's a little strange now, don't you think?
Well, he's lost his, he had a lot of acting chops that I thought were, that made him great on screen. But I think he either went off on mushrooms or he became political or something happened to him. I don't know what it is.
His musical obsession came over him, which is great. He could sing, he could do stuff, but he's got this weird rabbi beard now. And I don't know.
Maybe joined the Taliban. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know about that. But he's definitely, even in this one movie, this Legoland or whatever it was that this movie he was in, this recent one, he's a little odd. He's kind of got this weird kind of vibe about him. But anyway, let's talk about some inside baseball. This is from a colleague of mine, this well-heeled individual that will go unnamed. Let's just say he's someone that I think knows his stuff. And if you knew his position and what company, you'd be like, yeah, okay, good. Here's what he wrote me. I'm going to read you what he wrote me.
Okay.
Apparently, oil executives were opining with POTUS in meetings yesterday that oil inventories are at alarmingly low levels and oil prices could soon skyrocket.
Right.
He says, I might soften the language a bit, but they know the oil biz better than me. So if the SOH does not open soon, the Strait of Hormuz, he ran a few numbers. I'm reading exactly what he said. I'm reading what he said. I ran a few numbers on total oil inventories, including and excluding the SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserves. Total supplies are in the 10th percentile versus history. Although that includes a period when the SPR ramped from 0 to 600 million barrels in the late 1980s. Today, it is a 4th percentile if you start from 1990 when the SPR was basically full. The 4-week net and percent draw within the last 3 weeks are the largest draws of all time. And not surprisingly, the 1-week net and percent draw of the SPR are also the 2 largest draws of all times during the last 2 weeks. That's some crazy stuff right there.
Well, let's assume it's true.
Okay?
What does that mean for investors?
First of all, if it is true, I don't understand why we have $90 oil. Brent a little bit higher. That makes no sense at all.
Good point.
Oil right now is at 94 and a half, a buck and a half up this evening. Trending up from, what was it? Let's see. Last few days.
90, I got it down at 94.90, yeah.
It was at 88 a few days ago.
Yeah.
So that's still 88 to 94, by the way, under normal times when things weren't so crazy. We'd be like, oh my gosh, that's a big move. Like a 7% move in a few days.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that comes to my mind, that how is this even possible? And by the way, we know some of this to be true because the oil is not getting through the Strait of Hormuz, and the rest of the world doesn't have the production we have. You look at India, look at South Korea as two major countries, Vietnam too to a degree. But really, certain countries have no oil production, completely rely on imports. And that being the case, how are they just doing so reasonably well? We know that not only oil, from the perspective of oil that turns into gasoline, but heating oil and also cooking oils. Or not cooking oils. I don't mean cooking oils that you pour into a pan and you fry stuff in. I'm talking about the oils and the product that goes into lighting the stove. Those kinds of good. There's literally rationing going on in places like the Philippines and other countries in certain parts of Eastern Europe and in Asia. That you can't do this. You can't have it. So people are not using there is something going on, but it boggles the mind on how we're just so complacent with this, because I guess we have President Trump just saying, oil prices are going to go down soon. Everybody's just buying into it. There's also the war that was supposed to be 5 or 6 days long. It's now 4 months. But we did count 32.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be over next week. Yeah.
And even if the Strait of Hormuz opens up tomorrow, those ships will take weeks to get where they need to go, and then they need to refill to move the rest of it through. So this is a problem. This is a big problem.
Well, some of it's being resolved by pipelines.
I'll give you that, but still, it's amazing that we still have sub $100 oil price. I don't know. It's hard to believe that this is going on and we're that low on our inventories and there's this little problem.
You think something's rigged, maybe?
I don't know. What is it, though? That's the problem. I don't understand what it would be.
Well,
What's
we need
rigged?
to
Is it the
figure it
futures
out,
market?
because it sounds like an investment opportunity waiting to happen for something.
That oil will go up like crazy. Or if the Strait of Hormuz does, everybody believes that, okay, we're not going to have this problem, and people are loaded on the hard side, on the bullish side to oil move higher. And if in fact there is some kind of a break, oil prices will plummet because everybody's there anyway mentally. They're just waiting for this to happen, just like the ratchet market, where
the ratchet,
but in reverse. Ratchet's down, not up. And by the way, we're still under a ceasefire, even though we may be bombing them. Just to be clear, the new 20th century ceasefire is we are under a ceasefire,
bombing.
But we're going to bomb you. We're just not going to send troops in necessarily, but we may bomb you. All right, here's a surprising, really not. I think this is a story similar to something that we talked about a few months ago. Taiwan prosecutors suspect that 3 individuals smuggled at least one shipment of NVIDIA AI chips to China after first exporting them to Japan. Now, the 3 people...
I can't imagine something like that ever happening.
That other one was weird, where they were taking the labels off and moving them back and forth. They were steaming off the labels and the serial numbers. Now, the trio was detained for allegedly falsifying documents related to the exports of Supermicrocomputer Inc. servers, again them, containing advanced NVIDIA chips, which the U.S. is barred from sale in China without a license. Now, Taiwan officials seized about 50 servers, for which they accused the trio of preparing fraudulent export documents, but at least one shipment had already gone through Taiwan customs and made it to Hong Kong. I wonder if they can track that down and you think they would do that? Track it down and grab it until, hey, listen, you're not supposed to have this. We'll take it back. Thank you.
Well, I'm never been convinced that there's not tracking circuits in the chips themselves.
When they
So
turn,
the chips,
yeah,
so the chips report back every so often.
that wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it's easy enough to do.
I suppose, but they are getting through. Is the point? In one way or another, these chips don't kid yourself are making their way to China, and they'll be potentially reverse engineered and built.
Yeah.
Don't let that surprise anybody either. All right, I have a little bit of a wager, an under-over for you. The wager is, we have to pick a date for this maybe. Let me give you the whole thing and then you can tell me what you want to do. Tesla somehow will be folded in, merged in, or taken over by SpaceX in an all-stock deal. Now, before I go any further, understand that Tesla's market cap is now $1.6 trillion, which, by the way, is hard to believe. Hard to believe they're not selling cars very well.
Well, they are here in California.
Well, that's the only place. So
Californians love Teslas.
But if $1.6 trillion is the value of Tesla and the potential market cap in totality of SpaceX is about 1.7 or so, that would be a hard company to swallow.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people believe, that Musk is going to do something, which is a short opportunity, to sink the stock a bit, enough so that he can do exactly what you say.
How much more can he do? Already there's no sales. He cut out a few of the best-selling cars he's not even selling anymore. How much more can he do to try to damage the company? Well, I know what he can do.
Make a point.
He can go back on Doge. That will mess things up a good.
Doge. Yeah, maybe. That's funny.
Okay, let's go to...
well, what about the bet?
Oh, the bet is... Okay, sorry.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I need you to keep me honest. The bet. The under-over. Is this going to happen? And by a certain date, pick the date.
Is this going to happen?
By the end of the year. How about that? Is that going to happen by the end of the year?
I'm saying... I'm going over. I'm saying no.
You're saying no.
Yeah.
And if we had a red book like you have on No Agenda, we'd write it in there.
Yeah.
But we don't have...
No, we don't need one. We can do it, as people out there are listening.
So I'll take the other side that there's something going to happen. Yes. I guess the deal
before the end of the year.
That's not a lot of time. I'll go by the end of the year. What the hell?
You're going to lose the bet.
No, I'll go at the end of the year. No, it's a gentleman's bet. I'm shaking hands. I'm virtually shaking hands with you right now.
So now you're going to go over too? So
no, I'm going under. I'm going under. I'm going the other way. I'm saying by the end of the year, this will happen.
Yeah, that's no chance.
I'm taking a long shot here.
I'd say it's just too much. It's just a little too much effort. It would take too much work. I mean, I can see it happening eventually someday, but not by December. We're halfway through the year. He's got 6 months to pull it off. I don't think so.
All right, I'm with you.
On a recent IPO, no.
Well, just keeping it interesting. That's all. You could just at the end, you could say what an idiot I was. You said it already, but you say it again. It's fine. Let's talk about something that's aggravating, and then we're going to talk about the winner of the Close to the Pin. A new thing. Ready? Ready, John? This is something you do not know about. Mini retirement.
Mini retirements?
This is like the FIRE, where you work hard and then you retire early. But this is a mini retirement. So it's when you take a planned break from working, usually for a few months or a couple of years, instead of waiting until 65 to fully retire. So here you are making your way through.
I did that back in 69.
You did that back in 69?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Couldn't get work.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, but this idea is this. You work, you build up the corporate ladder or your own firm or your own thing, or you work for somebody, you're working for the man, whatever. And you decide, I'm 38 years old and man, I've worked really hard. Well, probably somebody saying this is 26. I'm 26 years old. I've been working for a whole 2 years. It's about time.
That sounds about right.
It's about time.
I think you got the right. Yeah, that's the mentality.
I need to take a break, man. How can I wait till I'm 65? Look at all these people that waste all their life making all this money, and for what?
And then they're old and they want to travel.
For what? And by the way, I do believe in living your life early. I'm a firm believer in living your life early because there's a lot of things later in life that you can't do physically. Not kidding. There's things that I've done in my life that I couldn't do now because it's just not even possible. I can't go to Myanmar. Fabulous place. I probably
What do you mean you can't go to Myanmar?
I can't go to Myanmar. It's shut down.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I went.
there's a lot of stuff you can't do.
I can't probably go to Russia right now.
You can go to Russia.
I don't know, but I was there. It was wonderful.
There's plenty of people that go to Russia.
Yeah, Israel's kind of like
supposed to be great.
A lot of bombs going off and stuff. I've been there a few times.
Well, yeah, I guess there's a rocket comes through once in a while.
China?
But Russia, China would be dynamite to go to.
I'm just saying, it's just, this place, this thing.
I've been to China at least 12 times, and
I've
it's
been 3 times.
always entertaining.
Love China, by the way. Could be one of my favorite places to go. Vietnam. I need to go to
Have you
Laos.
ever gone to the wall? Walked the
Of
wall?
course, I've walked the wall. I'll tell you a story about. Do you want to hear a story about the wall?
Sure.
There I am. The wife says, got a great idea. No, the wall's a long wall. There's a lot of different places.
It's a long wall, yeah.
There's a lot of places for the wall. It's not like, you got a wall here.
We went to I went to the part where they have an elevator that goes up to the top. You
That's
don't have to walk anything.
Well, my wife has an idea with another couple. You know what? Let's take a bicycle built for 2 and drive the wall. I'm like, okay.
Well, that'd be a terrible thing to see.
I'm driving in the front. She's
So you actually did this.
I did this.
It would be a hazard.
It gets worse. She is in a mood. And she is just berating me. And no matter how much
you're on the bicycle.
no matter how much I pedal, I can't get away from her. This is going on for like a half hour. I can't take it. I'm not kidding. She just will not let up. And I finally said, this will be the last time I ever go on a bicycle built for 2 with you, ever in my life. Horrible experience.
That's the end of the story?
That's it.
What was the beef about?
I don't know, but I don't remember anything about the wall. I'll tell you that much. I remember nothing about it. I just remember the bicycle, and I remember getting on it, and getting off it, and I remember being steamed.
That must have been a very smooth part of the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. It was no good. I wouldn't recommend that. Anyway, a mini retirement. Tim Ferriss popularized this, the 4-day work week dude. Step 1, work aggressively and save 2 to 10 years. Build a specific freedom fund.
Oh, please. The whole thing is bogus.
Take time off. 3 months to 2 years. Travel, recharge.
Nobody wants to, in their right mind would do this.
Step 3, return to work. Same career.
Good luck.
Oh, yeah. Where were you? Where? I was traveling a bit. Oh, yeah. You did? Yeah, I think
back after 2 years, I'm back. Well, you missed out. We closed the company. And by the way, your position has been eliminated. It turns out we didn't need you in the first place. Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
Yeah. Or, hey, you're back. You missed an entire revolution of AI. And you can only do COBOL? What?
Yeah, we don't need COBOL programmers anymore. Get out.
All right.
Yeah,
by the way.
that's exactly right.
By the way, I got a nice note from somebody that said that one of our buttons was, actually I need the audience help on this because one of the buttons on the donation buttons on the show notes wasn't working.
Oh, that's the reason we've been
not
getting donations.
There's other buttons too, but I would like seriously some people to do me a favor. Go over. I'm serious. I need a report back. Does the donate button work on the show? So I want you to go to the actual show.
It doesn't seem like it does.
Well, that's a different problem. But go to the donate button and make sure it does a pop-up because it was just arrowing out to a 404 page. So that was specifically on the show, not on the other side, not on the right side and the bottom, but on the show notes page. So go over to the show notes page. What episode is this? 805. And click on it. Please send me an email that it worked. Thank you. Or, yeah. All right, let's talk about the close of the pin for Salesforce. We had a bunch of people. The average entry price was way off, 171. Final stock price was 191.
Yeah.
The winner was John Jay, 66 cents away, 0.35%. The next closest was $5 away.
Wow, he nailed it.
So there you go. John Jay's getting another shirt. And he actually requested an old school shirt. We still have some of those black and white ones.
Yeah, those are the ones that are, yeah.
Not the swim shirt with all the colors. So there you go. All right, let's should we go?
Yeah.
This is a game that we play. It's not a solicitation to buy or sell any security. It's not a recommendation of any kind. Nothing on the show should be considered investment advice or a recommendation. If you choose to invest in any of the stocks mentioned, you should know that it may carry risk, along with the risk of a loss of principal. You should also seek out professional financial advice for your particular situation. We assume no risk as these are not to be considered recommendations. Horowitz Company, myself, or John C. Dvorak may invest in any of the securities mentioned, and we'll disclose that on the website under the weekly stock picks section. You can go to DHUnplugged.com and see all the names we discuss in this segment, along with the performance information from the date discussed, as well as any additional important disclosures.
Nice looking batch here, John.
For you.
Okay, for me. But I was doing it as a team effort.
The only one I'm doing well on is one from last year. All my insider stuff is crapping out, which is, you have to admit, I'm streaky, and I'm on a losing roll. So, I mean, I did jump on the United Health thing, but the other stuff, so far, no good, including Corning, which is an interesting idea. Coast, and I got another one today.
Corning was up nicely.
It was,
went up 13% today, so you just missed your stop and it came back up. But can you please a little bit? Can I get the props? Can I get the props to the one right in the middle?
Let me look for the one.
Oh, come on. It's sticking out like a sore thumb, for God's sakes.
Oh, I can't see anything there. That's up 67% for your Korea thing. Your Korea ETF of all things to kick ass with, an ETF.
That's unbelievable. I told you,
ridiculous.
For all the wrong reasons. For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, you picked it for the wrong reason.
For all the wrong reasons.
Which makes it even funnier.
No. IMQ,
the
Quantum's up 14%. Which another thing was interesting was you say the insider stuff's not working, but the big insider stuff that you picked a year ago, like almost a year to the date, up 24%. That's on the Unusual Whale Subversive, which was a tracker for Pelosi.
Yeah. I know.
Whatever happened to that? Weren't they supposed to take a vote?
Still making money.
Wait, weren't they supposed to take a vote that no insider trading? What happened to that?
Nothing came of it.
Yeah. So surprised. Very surprised.
Yeah, that'll always be kind of up.
So what do you got today?
I got something, but I need a clarification.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between, I got two stocks to compare. One is LILA, which is Malone's operation, Liberty in Latin America, Liberty Broadcasting, and Liberty whatever, media. And LILAK. What's the difference between LILA and LILA?
Wait, Lila? Lila? No. What's the symbol?
LILA. Excuse me. LILA and LILAK.
Oh.
What's the difference between those two stocks?
One of them is I'm assuming it's a different case. It's a different like preferred, you have different versions and all that, but let's see. Let me see. Two different share classes. So LILA has voting rights of 1 vote per share. LILK has no voting rights, pure economic interest, no control. So Liberty Latin America, let's founders man. So they have the voting share. So basically one is a voting share and a non-voting share.
Yeah, okay.
Retail investors often like the voting shares. That's why that's there. And if you want the voting rights, that's fine. But there's really no difference. It's just the voting rights.
Well, it's funny because our buddy John Malone, insider, has bought $107 million worth of LILA and exactly the same, another $107 million of LILAK. And this is an insider deal. So I'm going to jump on board with big John Malone, who's in his 80s now, I believe, but still no slouch, and get some LILA.
Got it. Lila. Oh, Lila. Very nice.
And I guess, it's also it's a diverse investment since it's Latin America.
Yeah. I have one for this week as well. I'm going to put a high flyer on there. Rocket.
I saw this stock before,
Yep.
and I've been thinking about putting it on. I'm almost ready to go purple with you on this one, but I'm not going to.
Okay, it's Rocket Lab. This is either going to do really well and it's going to kind of ride the coattails.
I think it's going to do really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to ride the coattails of SpaceX also. That's an issue.
Yeah, that's your bet.
Yeah, this is like a second tier. So full disclosure, we own this and for clients and for myself. So, all right, that's it. We're going to talk. We'll talk again soon.
Okay, bye.
You have a good week. Okay, bye.
Yeah, same to you.
You've been listening in on a conversation with John C. Dvorak and Andrew Horowitz. Hope to be with you again soon. Bye-bye.
Now, I'm not broke, but badly bent. I'm not down to my last cent, 'cause I got $1, but it's my last dollar bill. Yes, sir. In my pockets, there's a dent. All my dough is nearly spent, but I got $1, and it's my last dollar bill. Oh, I'd love just one more buck fortune left me by chance. Now, here's a hint, I feel like a mint. You can hardly tell by a glance. I don't care, no millionaire can give me the icy stare, 'cause I got $1, my last dollar bill.
This podcast is intended for informational purposes only and does not constitute personalized investment advice. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal, and past performance is not indicative of future results. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and the guests and may not necessarily reflect those of Horowitz & Company, Inc., an investment advisor registered with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where Horowitz & Company is properly registered or is excluded from registration requirements. Any mention of third-party companies, products, or services is provided for informational purposes only and does not constitute an endorsement. Hypothetical scenarios or forward-looking statements are for illustrative purposes only and should be viewed only as that and not as guarantees. Content is intended for U.S. residents only and may not be applicable in other jurisdictions. Listeners should consult a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decision. Please visit our website for additional information, disclosures, as well as a copy of our Form CRS.